So a little background. I strongly believe that a small academic program should not suffer from limited access to global knowledge out there. Okay? And so when I first started in Maryland, I was hired in 2001. I was the second faculty member in the program. We were down to 7 undergraduate students at that time. And so they said, Martin, we need a builder. Can you help us build the program? So what do you need? When we first started, I think about, okay, how do we make this a learning experience that counts? First thing first, you need to have the IT guru in your college to work with you. So Brett and Chris, without them, I won't be able to have this happen. So I'm not an expert on Adobe Connect, they are. So whenever I need a phone. So I call them, I say, I need this done, and can you help me to get this done? So we kind of swim through the whole ocean to find out what we can do with it. And then we established an Adobe Connect account to begin with, and then set up the course or meeting sites for that under my name with the university account. And then all you need to do is to share the URL with your speakers or participants. So the beginning lecture, the first year, we offered it only to University of Maryland students. The second year, I expanded to University of Maryland and Delaware. And then the third year, I did it with Drexel. And then now we also have Eastern Shore of Maryland. So we have 4 campuses all linked up at the same time and to share the same knowledge. But they're all small programs. So, but there are some technical difficulties about how to offer the course for other students to register. So basically what we did was that each of the campus, they set up their own course number. So students register within their own structure. But then we have some files we share with other students. We actually set up a Wigio website. Or now you can do like Dropbox or anything. The student can log in and access those documents. But sometimes those participants, they might need to install a little Adobe add-on on their browser to make it work. Okay? And then they need a webcam. Better to have a high-definition webcam. We started with the old-fashioned webcam and a microphone. And I still prefer landline if possible, because sometimes you use the microphone with computer. They're a little bit delayed in terms of voice, depends on the internet connection. But the landline is better in avoiding voice. Also the echo. So there's some trick that we learned how to eliminate echo with the computer microphone. Okay? And also, since it's a food science event, so we always have food for my class. So food for thought, that's the last part you need. So this is the example I want to share with you, because seeing is everything. So this is how we set up the camera. This is about 4 universities plus the speaker, Ricky Yada. Ricky is right here. He is the president of the International Union of Food Science and Technology. He works at University of Guelph in Canada. And this is a particular section. The student who served as the introduction host is up here. And then this is University of Delaware, and this is Eastern Shore of Maryland, and this is Drexel University in Philadelphia. And of course, at the same time, while we are starting the section, we have the slide uploaded. So this is a very nice setup. We think Adobe Connect, you can just upload your slide from your desktop. You can do it right there. And it's a little bit convergent, but I would encourage you to try to check the old version of PowerPoint. When you convert it to this kind of online setting, something can get shifted. But now the 2010 Office seems to be OK. I've never seen anything being shifted. And then the best part about it is the bottom that you can have a chat. So Brett was helping, so how they talk to the host and talk to different campuses, make sure they are connected. Okay? And we can see and give them different rights. For example, here we have Maryland, the Brett is serving as a host. And Dallas Hoover at Delaware also serve as a host, which means that they can go in and then click the slide to make it move. And the others serve as participants, so they cannot change the slide. Okay? So there's different functions you can do there. I'm going to show you a little video about how we did it. And this is the best part. We can record this section.
Dr. Yada received his PhD from the Department of Food Science at the University of British Columbia in 1984. He has served as the
So we were able to have the camera similar to what we have in this room, I think, like that. Is that a camera? We have another camera. We can zoom in to the student so you can see that when he's talking.
Food protein structure and the scientific director of Advanced Food Materials and Network in Canada. He has participated on numerous
I'd also like to thank you guys as the audience because
so the audio come across very clearly from the speaker.
First of all, it's right after lunch, so I know your probably insulin levels are going up right now, and that means.
And as the presentation goes, okay, towards the end, we have the option to change the format of this Adobe Connect. And this is his picture. But then you can move into different camera. This during discussion. We can show it up like this, and you can actually hide other camera and just show the main speaker camera. But then the student get to have a chance to come up to the microphone, or they zoom into the student, and then they can ask questions about that. So I have a very short presentation just to show you what we have been doing, and there were some challenges that we faced with was that sometimes you tell people a webcam and a microphone, and you thought that they understand what a webcam is, what a microphone is, but when it comes to real time, they say, oops. But luckily, most of the laptop now have built-in webcam. And this also can be accessed through your iPad. So you can download an app for your iPad or your iPad mini, even if for your iPod. And I think for my Samsung cell phone, I can also have an app for Connect. But the view of that is basically quite limited. You can see what's playing there, and it's hard for you to participate with those kind of a mobile app. Okay. Oh yes, every semester I have to fight really hard to get the room in our college's Simons Hall basement, and that's the conference room the dean used for his purposes. I have to squeeze some elbow out and then try to lock this one on Friday afternoon. That's why I do Friday afternoon. Nobody wants to use the room for Friday afternoon for any conferences. I have it to myself. Yeah. And we were actually pretty nice that now the room has 2 cameras and 2 screens. So students don't really, some sit in the far side, they can look at the back screen, they see the same thing. So that's easy for time zone. Yes, well, for my Greek speaker, he actually had to come and talk at 9:00 p.m. from his office. And so I promised him I'll buy him a beer next time I see him somewhere. So you just try all your way to make them come to work for you with that. Yeah. With my cell phone app, I cannot see myself through the cell phone, but I don't need to see myself. It's kind of scary to see myself, but you can look at the other people's talk with that. Yeah. Common technology problem that comes up the most was that if, for example, me and Lauren, we are both sitting here, and then in addition to viewing it in a big screen, you want to have your own leisure of viewing from your own laptop. And if you forgot to turn off your microphone on your laptop, you get severe echo next to one another. The echo would interfere. I don't know, there's some kind of electronic signal that interferes. So when that happens, and Brett was great at helping me figure that out, you just ask everybody to turn off their microphone, only the speaker leaves it on. And then so we use this kind of conference call for domestic presenters, so you use a landline. I actually use it for some of the meetings as well with other people doing conference. It's better than Skype, because Skype you have to pay for multiple participants, but this one you can get many people to participate. This can hold up to 99 participants. And when you have a slide, if you go to like presentation, I don't have a presentation loaded, but let me see, presentation. Yeah, you can start your webcam here. And once the PowerPoint is going, there are icons up here. You can choose to have a pointer. And then the pointer, you don't need to drag it. You just move your cursor to some place and then click it. Then the green pointer will show up right there. So you can point to the right specific location for that.
You have to do it with a mouse, basically.
Yes.
To move the pointer.
Yes. Yeah. And we oftentimes grant the presenter the power to control that. So they. So I'm here signing as a host, but then I can other people can sign as a presenters, and there can be participants. So because sometimes we don't want anybody to accidentally move the slide. So those who just listen in, they are participants. Only the host and the presenter can move the slide forward and back. And I like the chat a lot because sometimes there's something happen that you can just communicate with the chat without interfering with the presenter. The presentation can go on when some other participant might have a small problem. And that's why having a very nice IT support person there is very important. He was always there in my class. Brett always sits through my lecture. So he earned 5 years of 2 credits. So he got 10 credits. So he can help reply to any questions right there. I'll speak from 2 angles. One, for me, it took me about 1 month. So we meet with Brett every week for like 1 hour just to try to see. And then if something that he doesn't understand, he go back and find the answer. We meet again next week. So it took us about 1 month to get all the phone and everything working together. And it took us about 1 hour to train. We actually have a mock run with every presenters to make sure everything is uploaded correctly. So it spent about, the longest one we ever spent was about 1 hour. Usually about 30 minutes, people are okay. And oftentimes the more tech savvy people, the easier to run that. Yeah, because some international speakers, I think, because of the delay in their voice, sometimes the mock run was very important to make sure we can tell them that you slow down how you speak, and after you speak, you might wait a little 1 or 2 seconds to allow. So it takes a little practice for that. Yeah. So I tried one section to lecture from Africa, and then 200 plus students in my 100 level course, they get to wave their hand to my African students in Africa. That was beautiful. Yeah, field trip, I think that's something very important that you bring that up, because after 9/11, a lot of food processing companies, they don't accept any field trip anymore because they have these new insurance policy to cover the Bioterrorism Act. So we got shut out by many requests to see even the ice cream processing plants. So with this, we can probably actually ask them to see if they can be able to talk to us without we actually physically being there. So that's one very, very good idea. Yeah, usually we have a 2-hour section on Friday afternoon. The front part is the presentation. It only lasts about 30 to 40 minutes. I don't want it to go extra long because kids on Friday afternoon, it's torture for them. But then after that, sometimes the speaker can stay on for Q&A. Sometimes they cannot, like the one in Greece. So the students actually talk about, I actually assign them a few things to look for, the different kind of climate and different kind of fruits they can produce in the Mediterranean areas. And then they talk about that across campuses. So different groups have in charge of different kind of crops, and then they share the information. It was quite good. It was quite good, yeah. And we try to record a lot of the sections, but some sections did not record so well. I think some audio problems, but this one turned out to be, I think we successfully did 6 or 7 of them. And I'll be happy to share the link with you if you can click it and see how different sections was handled. Yeah. I need to attribute that credit to Brett. He figured out how to record everything, and everybody's so happy with that.
Do you usually just use the link for the recording, or do you ever download the flash video of it, or just always?
I never tried to download it. I don't know. It must be a big file.
Yeah, it is.
Because every section is about an hour, 40 minutes. It's a very long file. It kind of become autopilot after you do it several times. You know what to check for. If somebody doesn't have the audio, you tell them to go where to click. Once you are familiar with where to find the click, I think you're okay. Yeah, well, but sometimes taking the IT person out to lunch might help you a little bit. We become sushi partners. But if you want to get started, on the right-hand side, there are different panels. And then when you activate your own camera, you need to allow your camera to say, so we're starting our camera, so you can see yourself. Yeah, but you need to click Start Sharing. But that's it, that's just very simple and straightforward. If you have a camera, oh, by the way, the location of camera is very important in your room. Because at first, we tried different location for the camera. The screen is here. We tried to put the camera in the back so we can try to capture the lecture. But we found out that's a horrible idea, because then students, when they're talking, they look at the screen and then they're looking at the camera. So they don't know where to look. So this is a nice setup with a screen and a camera next to it. That's a very nice setup. But also sitting in the room, you don't want, that's my favorite seat, to be in the back close to the door. But it's a little bit hard to get people who are sitting behind others. So it's nice to have a nice round table layout. It's very user friendly. The first generation of Adobe Connect was not as good as this one. This is a newer version, and it's much nicer to use. If you want to decide we have like 4 campuses altogether, and sometimes the student raise question, and you can actually ask them to click. If there's somebody raise a question, you can say you raise your hand. So it goes into a queue, so you know that different side is asking questions, so you can decide to go to which campus to have them be the next one to ask. And you can just drag and drop things based on how you like them to be arranged. Yeah, I think over time, my students tend to bring their own laptop or iPad to look in front of them because they find that sometimes it's more tiresome to always raise your head to look at the big screen. And when we do meetings across different countries, we do them all on our own desktop computers. Well, we have the license on Maryland campus, and then we just send our participant the URL, the link. So they get an email with an underlined link. All they do is they click on the link, they are in the environment. I use it for special meeting, even for my student club. So my student club has an Adobe Connect site that they can actually talk to each other about the student activities. And then even they are a guest, you can try to move them as a participant or the host. You can move them around in the pod. You can give them different roles. So the next meeting can be hosted by somebody in Nebraska, and then they can be the one to show the slides and do things. So it's very useful. Well, so far the most we have tried was 9 altogether, and then 9 seemed to be okay to lay out on the camera that you can see everyone. But Brad told me that the site can take up to 99 participants at the same time. Yeah, 9 separate locations. No, you just move to the presentation part. So like like this, you have different cameras.
And you would have 9 of them. Right?
Yeah. So I hope this gives you some good idea, and you can easily look me up, the shortest last name on campus, and email, and I'll be happy to share with you some of my learning. It's continuing learning experiences, but it's very user-friendly. I'm so glad we have this on campus.